Today's shave is going to have this nice dense Declaration Grooming brush, whip dog handle, 24 millimeter. I'm going to stick it in where I have my gear here. Let's stick it in my little soaking jar. You don't have to soak your badgers, but I like to. I like it better. And the soap we're going to work with today is Porch Drinks, a kind of a collaborative effort between Catie's Bubbles and Carnivus and Richardson. I don't even know if I'm pronouncing that right. I've always read it. I've never actually said it. The aftershave is made by Carnivus and Richardson, and the soap is made by Catie's Bubbles, as far as I know. And it's mostly coffee forward, and yeah, you get a little bit of the tobacco. Cardamom is strong as well, and then underneath, hopefully, there'll be some nice bourbon and some blood orange to kind of anchor it and just be a good base. It's a little too coffee. Yeah, no, the orange is coming through, the blood orange is there. It's a little too fruity coffee for me from the tub. The tub is not always the indicator of the lather. So I'm going to take this tub. Catie's Bubbles is just terrific. And I'm going to take a little bit less than a quarter teaspoon out of the tub. And this is a good opportunity to check out its firmness, see how it held its shape really well. And it didn't really leave a lot of goo on the spoon. And so that, you know, it's a fairly firm crope. It's not and I kind of like them that way. Easy to press into the bottom of the bowl. Smooth around. It's easy to get a nice thin layer with this guy. All right. Quarter teaspoon, a little bit less. And see what else we need to do. So this is one of those scents that I have heard talked about online, and it's just kind of a myth, you know, a legend, if you will. The people who love it dearly love it, and they regret that it's such a limited edition. And so when they came out with it this year in 2018, I saw the notice and I said, well, you know, let's try it out. And I'm going to shave that lather down with this Gillette Sheraton vintage razor, and my Nacet blade that I've been using for so long now likes a little bit of an edge. It likes a little bit of aggression, and hopefully the Sheraton will provide it with that. This is the 69th use of this Gillette Nacet. So 70 will be tomorrow. It's passing by. All right. So now I'm going to take get the bowl ready. Shake most of the water, sling most of the water out of this brush, and just start in on it. I think a little bit of that bourbon is coming up to my nose. Yeah, and the coffee, mainly it's the coffee, not the bourbon. And it's the orange, and it's almost like a, you know, another buttery coffee scent in there, like almost like hazelnut or something like that. So we've built up a little bit of a paste, so now we'll start adding And I often find success by adding about half a teaspoon at a time. Mix it a little bit. Another half teaspoon. Catie's Bubbles is really good protective soap. Look at that. Lather, dense, thick stuff starting to come together. I'm hoping that there's more than just the coffee scent. Good news is it's such a limited edition. I should be able to sell this on the secondary market and make my money back. So it's kind of it's a nice situation to be in. Yeah, see, it's coming together very nicely. And there's 2 teaspoons. Pretty sure it's going to need more, so I'm going to refill my syringe. And like I usually say, I'm adding half a teaspoon at a time. But once you have found a soap base that you really like, I kind of change soap bases often. And but once you find one you like and you can kind of focus in on it, then you'll get shortcut methods. Like you'll know that you can fill the brush up with water and maybe make 2 shakes or something like that, and you'll be able to, you don't have to add water so slowly. Or maybe you'll figure out that, you know, you can just go ahead and put in 2 teaspoons of water and then just mix until the thing comes together. A nice sheen on it in my bowl here. There is a scent that I'm picking up that I'm not a fan of. Maybe I don't like cardamom. So we'll just see how it works. Sometimes these layered scents will evolve and change and become different things as you put them on. Wonderful looking lather so far. It's a thirsty puppy. 3.5 teaspoons of water now in the lather. Probably time to give it a finger test. Make sure I don't overwater it. Do a little finger test here. A little squeeze, nice cushion, medium amount of cushion. I do feel that I have ridges on my fingerprints, but it's not very, yeah, nice cushion on that. But it's not, they're not distinctive very much, so I think I'm going to keep on going a little bit with the water. Let's just put in that last teaspoon, and I bet that might just be the right amount. Look at that. Nice. So now I'm pretty sure I'm gonna stop now, and so I'm just gonna give a good uniform mix here and then be done. There we go. Nice elasticity. Yeah, dang it. There's some kind of spice, seasoning, something. Maybe it's the coffee, kind of coffee used. It's not my thing, but it's a legend. So let's shave with it anyway. Performance we know is going to be good. All right, let me get my face wet again. Hard water, as usual, is what I have. I just use cold water to work with here. And last shave was a little bit of a short timer, maybe 13, 14 hours ago. I was off schedule for the last couple of days, so I'm trying to get back to my usual rhythms. So it's a little bit of a short run this time. The brush feels great as usual. Soft, but it does feel a little on the stiff side in terms of the backbone, so I've got some training left to do on it. With another B5 that I've got, I've been kind of bending back the bristles to kind of maybe try to help with the splay. So I'll start doing that with this one too, see if I can notice the change. All right. Dang it. Yeah, whatever that scent is, it's there. Don't know if that's cardamom or a particular facet of the coffee scent that they brought in. So now let's see if this Sheraton is aggressive enough to handle this old Nacet, and it seems like it is. Very nice. Yeah, no pulling. And I don't have a light beard. You know, it's not super thick. You know, I'd say I don't know. I'd say I've got an average thickness beard. I've definitely seen other guys with a lot greater hair density. Man, I like this razor a lot. It's a great shaver. The blend of efficiency with comfort. I do feel the edge of the blade, but it's in a good way. It's solid. I just really forgot how much I enjoyed this razor. All right, pass number 2. So that first one felt really good. It felt like I dialed in the soap nicely. There are a few droplets here and there. Let me maybe get rid of them a little bit. Don't want it to be too thin. Very nice. Scent is not strong. To me, my nose is a little congested, but I'm going to say it's a 2 out of 10. So add a little bit of a congestion factor, maybe say 3 out of 10. And to me, that's not all that strong. It's kind of another ding against it. It's really neat how this razor is giving me a lot of confidence to just scream through my shave, but it's still cutting well. I don't know, maybe I've just been through enough razors. I've had enough DE shaves where my technique has gotten good enough, but you know, you still have to be careful. Every once in a while you'll forget about a certain area that, especially with me, I think I've got some areas where the hairs tend to really lay down right next to the skin, and it irritates me if I go against the grain. All right, feeling good. So since my hairs are that way, they can really get irritated if I go in the wrong direction in certain situations. All right, third pass. Performance is great as usual. It must be the cardamom. I am actually thinking about nutmeg right now. But I don't know my spices really well, and I think cardamom is often paired with nutmeg, and so I may be remembering cardamom but thinking that it was called nutmeg, you know. And I've had this in some other scents, this same scent, but they had different notes in the profile with them that I think made me enjoy it a little bit more. Whereas this one kind of doesn't. Totally just my thing. Can I pick up any of the that orange? Yeah, the blood orange. Yeah, I think so. It's really intertwined with something else in there. I don't know that I'd be able to pick it out if I didn't know it was there already. It's almost a too smooth of a coffee scent. I wish almost it was more, maybe a little bit more bitter. Maybe that would kind of attract me to it a little bit more. All right, third pass. So this blade, doing great. Smooth. And again, I'll say it. You know, the Nacet's what I've been using, but there are guys, see right there is where most of the time I have to stop and go the other direction. I can stir up a little bit of irritation if I do that the wrong way. But it's not, the Nacet is not the secret weapon. It's not the you know, the great blade. All those top blades like Feather and Pole Silver and Astra Super Platinum or Superior Platinum, whatever the name is. You know, all those Bolzano, all those have gone the distance with other people. like 100 shaves, 60 shaves, that sort of thing. And so I don't know which one I'll pick after this Nacet is done. At this point, we're about 70 shaves in. I don't even see the Nacet stopping at 100. Just my guess. Maybe when it starts to die, it'll really go downhill quickly. I mean, maybe that'll happen, but for right now, I don't think so. I don't think it's going to die anytime soon. Going to rinse. And now, lather up for the half pass. So this Sheraton does really well in with old blades like we're seeing, and it does great with the new ones too. I'm going slow, paying attention. I mean, what I'm doing is, meant going slow means I'm moving, my razor's actually moving kind of fast, but I'm moving across my face kind of slowly, listening to the sound of the cutting, paying attention to the feel, making sure that I'm at the right angle, and I make the shorter strokes because you can make more minute adjustments instead of doing longer strokes where you have to try to get the angle right. If I am making shorter strokes and I move across into a different section where maybe the angle needs to be different, I'll pick up on that and adjust right away. And I think that works better. A little extra touch up there. And I think I've got a great shave. All right, I'm gonna rinse and check it out. Every once in a while, I'll hit an area the wrong way or buff over it too many times without the adequate protection of the soap. And I'll get a little irritation. Tell you what, the cool water, it's what I just rinsed with, and that's a great way to kind of calm down some of the irritation. So that's an excellent shave, above average. This Nacet is just killing it, and the Sheraton did a great job. So super happy about that. Why don't we go ahead and throw on the splash, since my face is still a little bit wet. Come on out. Wonder why that's being a little weird. Oh no. Okay. Wonder if this is leaking somehow. This is an alcohol splash, so I feel just a little bit of burning in maybe a couple of places. So it is a little different profile than the soap. So there we go. Oh yeah, I smell that blood orange. Don't know that I'm picking up the bourbon. The coffee is less pronounced in the aftershave, at least at first. As it dries down, who knows what's gonna pop out. So there we go. So I had pretty good technique, very little irritation at all, even with the alcohol splash. All right, I'm happy with that shave all the way around. So let me show you what I was doing with the brush. with the other one that I had, I was taking it after the shave, and after stropping it on the towel and just kind of bending it over a lot. It's a little too wet right now, but I just want to illustrate like that, just to help with the splay. And then all of a sudden I find that it's just a lot more comfortable on my face. So that's kind of what I'm doing there. So there we go. I stropped it on the towel and just bending the hairs over. If you like a lot of backbone, this is not what you want to do. But if you're like me and you don't want a lot, then this is kind of the trend that a lot of the brushes are going, where it's got a reasonable amount of backbone with really soft tips. And the B5 is less backbone than most of the other Declaration grooming brushes, which is why I made a big effort to try to grab one of these before he moved on to the next batch. And sure enough, the next batch has great soft tips, but more backbone than the B5. So I'll put that guy up there to wait for the next shave. So I had maybe 2 passes of lather in the bowl still, maybe even 3. So, and I like that because that means that I could use less than a 1/4 teaspoon, maybe 2/3 of that measure instead of just a little bit less, which is what I use today. And I like that. I like that economy of the soap. I like concentrated soaps like that. Performed really well. Really happy with the lather all the way around. The scent, I'm on the fence about it. I'm probably thinking it's not for me. But some scents kind of grow on you, so I might keep thinking about it. But really happy with the soap and the performance as usual from Catie's Bubbles. And the other thing I wanted to mention was the splash. I finally managed to find a splash with menthol that I don't mind. There was a little bit of a menthol kick here, but it was almost more than I would prefer. But it was fairly low. It didn't. It stayed as a cooling sensation, whereas with me, with most other menthols, it turns more into a burning sensation that I don't like. But this one, I think I'm okay with. So that's pretty neat to have finally found one of those. Okay, I think I finally figured out that scent that was kind of not really enjoying too much. It's less to my nose, both on the dry tub as well as the lather. It's more of a hot chocolate smell than a coffee smell, if that makes some sense. And I was clued into that a little bit when I was saying I wish it was maybe a little bit more bitter. I think my mind was starting to kind of head that way. It's just a little too maybe smooth and milky of a coffee scent for me. Maybe the cardamom is what's combined with the coffee to kind of draw it that way. But that's just my take. A lot of people like it, but that's just me. And what could be happening is that could be the tobacco. In some ways, tobacco can be a little bit of a sweetener because of just the type, whatever tobacco is used, the profile. Sometimes there's a flowering tobacco scent. Sometimes there's the dry leaves. You know, there's different kinds. And that may be contributing to the more hot chocolate smell rather than a more bitter coffee smell. So I'm guessing the menthol kick has left maybe 10 to 12 minutes after applying it. So that's pretty cool. I did apply it sparsely. It's possible if I were to put it on more, then I would get more of the kick. But so that's something for you to know. All right. So I believe I've made my own reviews known of the different pieces of this. Great performance from the soap. Great performance from the razor handling that Nacet well. It's just this great combination of a solidly held blade that moves over your skin. You can feel it, but it's just comfortable. And it's almost manly in that sense. I mean, it is, to me, where you've got this razor sharp thing going across your skin, and it's all fine, and you're doing it. You're the one who's controlling it. You're the one who's using your tool appropriately with skill. And it does take a little bit of skill to get a great shave sometimes. Really happy about the aftershave. I actually prefer it a little bit better than the soap because it brings out different notes. The coffee note, that hot chocolate note that I kind of don't like too much, is subdued a little bit with the aftershave, in addition to the discovery of the menthol, that the amount that I actually, am cool with. I'd still prefer it not be there, but it's all right. And so all the other parts of the scent that come out, I'm really happy with that in the aftershave. The Nacet, going to be 70 tomorrow. How about that? And I will probably find someone else to, pass my Porch Drinks on to, someone who's going to love it more. It's a legend, and if you like this kind of stuff, I could see why. But it's just not for me, I think. All right. I hope this was helpful to you in some way. Take care. This is Sugar Daddy Shaves. Good night.